And welcome, everyone. You are listening to the premiere broadcast of a show called Overtones on WLXU 93.9 LPFM Lexington. I am Renee Collins, your host, and each week, at this time on Mondays from 3 to 4 p.m., this show will bring you, the listening audience, the very best in local musicians, local venues, and those who support musicians and local organizations that promote music performance and education that this great city of Lexington has to offer the fans of music in this area and beyond. I am Renee Collins. I'll be your navigator for this most excellent experience we will all share together. First of all, who am I? I am Kentucky-born, actually from Eastern Kentucky. I'm a graduate of both the University of Kentucky, majoring in music education, and also did postgraduate work at Xavier University in organizational effectiveness. And I am lucky enough to be able to merge my musical and business backgrounds to carve out a really cool collection of experience and professions for myself. I own a business company called Collins Consulting Group, which specializes in executive coaching and career consulting, and I work for UK in the areas of diversity and inclusion. I'm also the co-executive director with Warren Cobb of a nonprofit organization called Room 17 Productions. I am one of the co-hosts of Red Barn Radio, and I co-chair the UK School of Music Alumni Association. So I guess what you could probably gather from this is I dream really big, and I'm really interested in talking to people who dream as big as I do. And the most wonderful people you will hear today are in the studio as we bring you this very first episode of Overtones. At the beginning of this show, we played the song called Happy Tune by local band sensation Brother Smith. And this song is my new theme song and will usher and exit out every episode of Overtones. Brother Smith is also a nominee for the Best Pop Band for the 2018 Lexington Music Awards, which will be held next Sunday night, January 28th, and that is one of our topics for the show today. The other topics we will approach this week's episode is Red Barn Live, which on this performance at Red Barn Live coming up, we have the McLain family band, who will be celebrating 50 years in music. You all can clap for that. Woo! So as you can tell, in the studio today, we have Ruth McLain.
Hey there.
Hey, thank you. And Whitney, Acke, and Ray Adams.
Hello.
Hey.
We have Chelsea Nolan.
Hey.
And we have Daniel Phelps.
Howdy.
Welcome, everyone. I'm going to start off with kind of talking about what's going on Red Barn Radio, which is a radio show that's recorded live every Wednesday night at Lexington Arts Place, 8 o'clock. And this week we have the wonderful pleasure of having the McLain family band kick off their 50th anniversary tour with us. And in the studio today we have Ruth McLain. Hello, Ruth.
Hello, Renee. What a pleasure to be here with you and be on Lexington's Community Radio.
Wonderful. Thanks for being here. And she is here to kind of represent the rest of her siblings and band, which will be going on tour. And also we have Russ Farmer with us today, who plays with her in Southland Drive.
Yeah.
And Ruth, first of all, give us some background on this 50 years of McLain family band.
Well, it's a wonderful time to reflect for us on an amazing career we've had, but also to realize that it's not over.
Yes.
And so there's a lot of future still coming up. And so this year, we're going to get to do some exciting things. We have a new CD. We have a new book. There's a video documentary that Russ Farmer is producing. There is another book in the process, actually also. And then we'll be going overseas this summer and doing some orchestra. We used to play with orchestras. So we get to do that this year also, as well as festivals and concerts. We're looking forward to it. The touring band is my brother Raymond McLain, my sister Alice and her husband Al White, and our wonderful friend Daxon Lewis, who's playing banjo and guitar. He went through the traditional music program at Morehead State University, where Raymond is the director of the Kentucky Center for Traditional Music.
And you teach there as well.
I do.
Wonderful.
I do, and it's such a pleasure. It's wonderful to see the next generation of performers and people that are going to be in the traditional music industry that are so passionate and so capable. And it's very exciting.
Well, you all were with us for the Christmas special, and we just enjoyed having you all so much, and it meant so much for you to be here with us.
Oh, the Appalachian Christmas
Yes.
Red Barn Radio Show
Yes.
was terrific. It's a nice thing to celebrate the Christmas season with Appalachian music in the Appalachian region in any time. And that's one of the lovely things about Red Barn Radio is that it highlights traditional music and music of all kinds, all genre of music in this area. And it's the kind of thing that communities need, that regions need, like community radio.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Tell me a little bit about what are your plans past this Wednesday night's performance at Red Barn Radio. You are quite the industrious
Well, there are a
person.
lot of exciting things going on, that's for
Yes,
sure.
There are a lot of exciting things
We
going
do.
on.
Wednesday is the Red Barn Radio, and then Friday we're going over to Shepherdsville, to the Shepherdsville Music Barn with Gary Brewer and the Kentucky Ramblers. They have a show over there on this Friday night, and that's at 7 o'clock. And then we go over to Flemingsburg on Sunday afternoon for the Years of Farming, where the Hintons have a nice series of music there. It's at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we'll leave there in time to run down to the Lexi Awards in Lexington.
Wonderful, because Raymond, your brother, is also nominated for a Lexi Music Award.
Yes, he's in the string category, and also my brother-in-law, Al White, and his Berea College Bluegrass Ensemble.
Yes.
Also nominated this year.
That's very exciting. And I saw Jesse Wells is also nominated in the strings category.
Yes, oh, there's so many people. All the people nominated are just wonderful this year. Excited about it.
And your band had the honor of receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award 2 years ago, if I believe
Yes.
correctly. What was
Yes.
that like for you all?
Oh, well, it's always an honor. I mean, it's always an honor, and we love every chance we get to be together. It's an excuse to get to be together. It's one thing when we were growing up, Daddy mentioned to us that it's nice to have a reason to be together, besides being brothers and sisters and family, where you have a respect for each other. It's nice to get to have excuses to be together, and so we're taking advantage of that and being together as much as we can.
Well, we will look very much forward to seeing everybody there.
We're working on some new material and some old material, so it's a nice combination for you for Red Barn.
Wonderful. Well, what can you tell me about the picture book that you all have now? And I will tell you what I know about it, because I had the pleasure of being on a long plane ride, which afforded me the opportunity to read it from the front cover to the back cover. And it was just absolutely delightful. And it evokes so many just great memories from my own childhood of seeing you when I was very young. And what was that like, taking all of that collection of pictures and putting them into one book where everybody could enjoy the same journey that you all had?
Oh, what a thrill. It's actually an absolute thrill. It took a lot of work. It's not an easy thing to do. And we went through the Berea College archives, who were gracious enough to host us and let us go through their collections, which used to be our collections, and the boxes of materials that went from the home place to the Berea College archives, they have masterfully archived. And so they're accessible, and so we got to spend time there, use some of those materials. We also went to the Heinemann Settlement School archives, because our father was the director of the Heinemann Settlement School for years, and that's where the band started. And so there were materials there we were able to use. And then there are other materials that, people from all over the country sent to us, and ones that I had never seen before, with Raymond doing a banjo duet with Don Reno, and things like that we hadn't ever seen. It was very exciting.
Yes, it's amazing to see what people have in their own personal collections as you go along one of these journeys. And I think I found one actually that you hadn't seen just last week online when I went searching for some other things. I came across an article about them that was from 1975, I believe.
Yes.
And we
Yeah,
posted
from
it and
the
shared it.
And it was from the Tallahassee paper, I understand, which had gotten it from the news service of the New York Times. George Vesey, who was a New York Times editor, had written that article.
It's amazing, isn't it, what you can
Well, it is a lot of fun.
locate.
It is a lot of fun. And the book has a centerfold.
Uh-huh. I did see that
It's
too.
It's fold out centerfold.
And it's the map of all of the locations.
It's
if
a
I
map
believe
of
correct.
our overseas tours. We did, I think 14 different overseas tours to 62 different countries, mostly for a branch of the State Department. It was amazing to be in Afghanistan and North Yemen and Bolivia and places that were so interested to see that the United States had traditional music, had families, had people from the mountains, had a rural lifestyle, when what they usually see is what's on the news or movies, which is a different image of the United States sometimes.
And a documentary film is being made as well.
Yes, Russ Farmer, who has had a career with Kentucky Educational Television, doing the Jubilee series, doing Bluegrass, all the traditional music programs on Kentucky Educational Television were created and produced by Russ Farmer. Since he retired, he's done documentaries on Gene Ritchie, on Kentucky Treasures.
Yes,
Gene
one, and I
Ritchie.
watched that one the other night. It's just a wonderful, beautiful piece of work.
Another one
Russ.
on J.D. Crowe and one on the Osborne Brothers, and he's currently working on one of the McLain Family Band.
Well, we will be really excited to see that. And we're really glad to have Russ in the studio, too. So, where can people find out more information about your touring schedule? And
Well, we do
also-
have a website.
Okay, and what is that website?
It would be
Ruth?
www.mclainfamilyband.com.
Wonderful. Well,
It's MCLAIN.
yes, that's important. we were going to have David McLain here today, but he, like almost everyone else, fell victim to the flu, affecting his family, not necessarily him.
Well,
but
we
he is
think
caring
the
for his
world of
family
David,
today. Yes,
and I appreciate that he's taking care of his family. He takes care of all of the music community
He
so
sure
very
does.
well, and helping with and producing the Lexi Awards
Yes.
is such a great community service. Wonderful for our music community here to bring us all together in all different genre, where we're all brothers and sisters in this music community and in this world.
Yes, we sure are. Well, we are so thankful for you being here in the studio, and thank you for being on my very first show. It means a great deal to me.
Thank you. Well, I wrote you a little ID spot, a little ID spot. It's Hey Renee on Overtones, on Overtones.
Wow. That just made my day, my week, and possibly my year. Thank you so much.
Well, we'll have to get it to you with a band.
Yes, we will. That would be wonderful. And I'm looking so much forward to seeing you all on Wednesday night. It's like host the special.
We're
that you'll
looking
be
forward to
with.
being
And-
with you at Red Barn
yes.
Radio.
And to find out more information about their appearance on Red Barn Radio, visit redbarnradio.com. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you. Pleasure.
And we will be back after these messages. And welcome back. We are back on Overtones. You're listening to WLXU 93.9 LPFM, Lexington, Kentucky. And we also have in the studio today, this is like a good old-fashioned talent show, I think. Today is the best way to represent it. And I'm very pleased to have Chelsea Nolan, who is not only a nominee for a Lexington Music Award coming up next Sunday, but was also on Red Barn Radio a couple of we're shifting around mics here, so it's very interesting. Chelsea was also a guest on Red Barn Radio last week, and you heard her on Saturday on the radio version of Red Barn Radio. And she graced us with her appearance on Red Barn Live. And I understand there was a huge crowd there that evening. And I was traveling, so I was unable to see you. But we do have Warren in the studio with us today. And I wanted to ask Warren what it was like to experience Chelsea live on the Red Barn Live stage. I want to get an outsider's opinion, and then I'm going to have Chelsea talk to us about what it was like for her.
Well, I don't know that I qualify as an outsider's opinion since I'm the line producer of the show, but it was an absolutely fantastic evening. She came in like a trooper and overcame, I guess, what was pretty much confirmed
it was the
flu diagnosis. Yeah. Nobody but her could tell. You know, it was just a phenomenal evening of music. And she broke our Facebook Live record for the most number of views on Facebook Live, which I think at the end of her performance was right around 9,000, something like that. Yeah. And I think it got up to 12 or 13 over the next few days. And so people have just been, sharing that like crazy.
Wonderful.
So, yeah.
Well, thanks, Warren. So, Chelsea, what was that like for you, that experience of being on Red Barn Radio? You were most gracious to Red Barn in an article that I read.
Man, I was just, my brother did Red Barn. My brother's Josh Nolan, and he did Red Barn a couple of years ago. And I was there the whole time holding my phone on Facebook Live so everybody could see him. But whenever you guys asked me to do Red Barn, I was just beside myself that you all even knew my name, but then that you wanted me to do your show, and that was fantastic. And then on Tuesday, the day before Red Barn, I tested positive for the flu, and then I was
type A, I believe.
It was type A, so I was freaking out because I was like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm gonna do," because this is huge. This is so huge, and I have done weirder things in stranger circumstances, so I thought I would just give it a go because it was really important that I did it, and everyone was so kind and just really positive and giving me all their good energy and their thoughts and prayers and just trying to get me through it. And I had a great time, and I'll never forget how that felt to just sit there between those barrels behind that mic and just know that I was afforded such a beautiful opportunity. So.
We were so glad to have you, and she was a trooper. I was watching actually on Facebook Live because I was out of town, and I thought, oh my gosh, how difficult must that be to feel as poorly as you did, and you produced such a beautiful performance.
Thank you so much.
And on the radio, after we listened to the radio show, it was just eloquent.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm going to put Whitney on the spot here a little bit, if that's okay. You're going to see everybody's faces right now. They're talking, don't look at me, don't look at me.
To get put on the spot.
That's exactly why I was invited.
I want to invite Whitney to speak to Chelsea's talent. And you are kind of talk to us about your background with the Songwriters in the Round that you produce, and then the connections that the two of you all share.
Right. So I host a Songwriters in the Round at the Twisted Cork here in Lexington. And I'm certainly no expert. I am a writer myself. I have no special education. My education is something completely different. But I have ears, and I have passion for writing. And Chelsea's incredible. I first heard of Chelsea on Facebook. There's a women's group. I think it's like Kentucky Women of Music. And it's just people who are trying to lift up other local female writers. And they kept posting about Chelsea, and they kept posting, and I thought, who is she? And so I tried to be her friend, and she gracefully accepted me on Facebook, and I was like, yeah. But in any case, I invited Chelsea to do one of our rounds, and she always tells the story. She almost didn't come. She was not really sure about it. She was sick. She was very sick. Yeah. And we do it for charity, and we did it for Greenhouse 17 that time. And she asked what charity we were doing it for, and I told her. And she was like, okay, I have to come. She just felt led to come, and she blew us away. Again, she was sick, but she never sounded better. She is awesome. And the great thing about Chelsea is that she's a great writer, but more importantly, she's an amazing person.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, I love you to pieces. And honestly, I'm a fan of talent, but I'm an even bigger fan of good people, and she is.
Wonderful words.
Oh,
Oh, now she's blushing.
I love it. I don't know what to do with my hands now. Thank you for saying that. It was nice.
Well, Chelsea, you are also nominated for a 2018 Lexington Music Award in the
Yeah.
category of Folk Act.
Yeah.
So what did that feel like to find out you were nominated?
Again, I'm just really surprised when people know my name. I don't, it just,
That's when you know you're doing things right,
yeah,
Chelsea.
I was like, wow, that's strange. And then to be in a category with Montana and Linda Jean with Local Honeys, they're some of my best buds. Me and Montana have known each other since high school.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
It's amazing all the connections that we kind of make, and then we realize we've had them a lot longer than we thought we did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Me and Montana and Sonora actually were all friends in high school. None of us ever talked about music. We were just friends, and then here we are, like all doing this. But the Lexi thing, that was just cool to be recognized amongst my peers. Yeah. And I think that's what it's all about. It's just lifting people up.
It sure is.
And I'm really humbled by it, and was really surprised to see my name on it, but I'm just really excited that, I don't know, my name's floating around out there somewhere.
Are you going?
I'm going to try to go, yeah.
Who will you be wearing?
What will I be wearing? Golly. I don't know.
That's what we're going to ask everybody now. And most of the
throw
time
my
it's a combination of
outfits
Old
together.
Navy and Charming Charlie.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe this cool shirt my friend
I
Ted
think that
Messer
would
got
be
me.
that would be
Is this
wonderful.
not hilarious?
Yes,
It's a picture.
It's a picture of
selfie
you.
we took.
I like
of
it.
Me and Christopher Bentley and our 3 dogs.
Well, there's nothing better than that.
Is that not ridiculous?
That's the best shirt ever.
That is the best
I
shot.
put it on today because I just felt like wearing something funny.
I feel like we all need that shirt.
Yes, I think we do too. We'll be
Okay.
placing our orders.
Yeah,
So,
just my big glasses.
Chelsea, would you sing something for us here in the studio?
Yeah, I can do that for sure.
Thank you so much.
This song is called Silver Line, and it's just about some of the silly stuff that happens in my life, because there's a lot of it. But all the verses are about something that actually happened or was said to me or something. But it's a fun song, and I enjoy singing it. So. Well, I can't even talk 'cause I'm so country. If I I remember the day that my brother took me driving in my dad's new Jeep. We went to town just when everybody started looking. He missed the clutch and then he shut her down. It's a good combination of gas and brakes. Sometimes you move, sometimes you shake. Stop and go at your own rate and find the silver line. It's a good combination of gas and brakes. Sometimes you move, sometimes you shake. Stop and go at your own rate and find the silver line.
Thank you, Chelsea Nolan. And thanks for being with us here today. You going to stick around?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wonderful. We will be back after these messages. We are back on Overtones, here discussing today the Lexington Music Awards, which will be on January 28th, Sunday. You can find out more information about the Lexington Music Awards at lexingtonmusicawards.org. We just listened to the beautiful voice and guitar playing of Chelsea Nolan. We're so glad to have her here. And now we're going to go to, let me just say, multiple nominee, Whitney Acke, who is also here with nominee Ray Adams. And so there's several different categories, right? Yeah. So you all have been nominated for several different categories. So let's run those down first.
Oh, man. Yeah. We were nominated, I'm most excited for Song of the Year, for a song that we co-wrote called Tried and Crucified. We don't get like super proud or excited of a lot of our songs, but that's one I'm kind of proud of. Are you proud of that one? Oh, he doesn't speak. He decided to come to a radio show and not speak, y'all.
We'll get him talking.
In any case, I think I was nominated for singer-songwriter, and I can't remember what else. Female vocalist.
The Twisted Cork was also
Twisted Cork was nominated for Musical Venue of the Year and for Community Service for the Songwriters in the Round. So we're really proud of that as well.
So you all are very industrious people, too. I like
Apparently.
it. So, Whitney, you all won, was it songwriting category 2 years ago?
Yeah, we won Song of the Year 2 years ago for a song that we co-wrote with Miss Taylor Hughes, who has recently moved to Nashville to pursue her career there. So before that, I think we were not really aware of what was going on with the Lexi Music Awards. That was kind of a surprise, and we really did not know what we were getting into, but Taylor was really excited about that nomination, so we went that year, and shockingly, we won, and it was a really great time. It's a great show. We were nominated last year for a few things, and we didn't take anything home, which is absolutely not why we go. We go to...
it is a lot of fun.
It's so much fun. I mean, where else can you go and see, like, a rap number and then bagpipes? And it's just, like, so many different types of music there at the Lexi Awards, and you get to see all your friends, and it just feels good to be in a theater with a bunch of people who are as passionate about local music as you are.
Yes, and let me just introduce some of the bands that are going to be there that evening. We have the Twig and Berries. Corey Cross is going to be performing with J.P. Pennington. We have the likes of Dwight Dunlap, Caleb Morris, and Lexington African Drum and Dance Ensemble. He always has one band or one act like... you mentioned the bagpipes.
Oh my gosh!
It just really wows and amazes the audience.
I think
every
I cried
single year.
during the bagpipes. It was crazy.
Yeah, we also are going to get to enjoy Clark Davis, Osmosis, and Johnny Roy Hedger. That'll be really fun. Warren and I went to school with Johnny Roy Hedger.
He was actually my first guitar teacher.
No
I'm sure
way.
he doesn't remember. Listen, I think I did like two 2 lessons with him, and he told me I had to cut my nails, and I quit.
Oh, I know. There comes that point where you have
He
to
was
cut
like,
your
"You
nails.
have to cut your nails." I was like, "No, sir," and I just never went back. How funny is that?
That is a funny story.
What a brat I was,
You want to quit me too then?
right?
That's a major decision to make when you're learning your music lessons and you're very young.
Right. You should like think of your priorities. No, I need to keep my nails. It's ridiculous now.
So I'm going to come back to you, Whitney, but let's talk to Ray, or let's see if we can get Ray talking. He's sitting there shaking his head. But Ray, tell us about your robust musical background in this city.
I don't know about robust, but
It is.
I started back probably. My parents had a gospel quartet that I grew up with, and my dad played every instrument that he touched, and so I've learned early some guitar stuff from him. But I guess around 14 I started learning bass, and from there I played with several groups. Went on the road for several years with a rock band called High Roller. That's out of Wayne County. And when I came back, I did several years with Greg Austin Band.
Okay.
And we traveled a lot in those years. Totally different time for music. Still a good, Lexington was a good spot for music, but it's totally different now than it was back then. We worked 6 to 7 days a week, 9 shows a week, and it's funny. Some people just get tired of, I had to work Saturday night, but we did it full time. It was a lot of fun. Learned a lot. I actually was kind of naive through the whole thing. I wish I'd been a little bit more aware of what I was doing. I was having too good of a time.
Yeah, and it's interesting
But,
once we get later in life, we wish
yeah.
we would have kind of like seized that day a little bit more than we did in
Yes,
the
ma'am.
past.
And from there, I've done music with my daughters for several years, Chelsea and Cadillac Church. And I mainly now just focus on writing. Me and Whitney write a lot together. It's kind of our passion.
Sure is. And we are the recipients and beneficiaries of that wonderful songwriting. So did you do a lot of songwriting for the Greg Austin Band?
Did some. Not
What are
near,
some of the songs that you wrote?
Not near what I do now, but we had a couple kind of locally popular songs somewhere in Kentucky, which I think Grayson Jenkins has kind
Yes.
of took a hold of. Kentucky Bound, song that we wrote, is featured on Kentucky Living on KET with Doug Flynn. And we recently re-recorded that last year using some new and some original musicians. It was a lot of fun.
Well, wonderful. Well, how about, can we hear this song that you were nominated for Song of the Year?
Why,
Is
sure.
that one of them that we can hear?
Sure.
I'd like to hear a couple. So let's hear that one, and then I want to talk more with Whitney after this song.
You wanted to do, right?
I would like it. Nothing but skin and bones made of lies only Jesus knows. Defined by my highs and lows, and eyes that don't cry. I've become
Everything. And everything I've tried not to be.
I don't blame you for hating me. I hate myself sometimes. Another God don't answer prayers. Maybe he just don't care. Guess this is your cross to bear for what you believe. I leave here with no regret on a wild line of pain and mess. Not sorry for what I left. This burden's not on me. Another drink in my hand. Another reason to not give a damn. Another word I shouldn't have said. Oh, to drown out the screams in my head. Your damned hopes and dreams ain't for people like me. Tried and crucified. Your damned hopes and dreams ain't for people like me. Tried and crucified.
Great job. Great job. Whitney, tell us more about where you all might be performing and where can your fans catch you?
Well,
Most typically, where can they find you?
these days, we both perform solo at the Twisted Cork in Lexington, Kentucky. I don't perform that much. I kind of am at the age where I'm very picky about where I perform. I perform a couple of times a month at Talon Winery. I love Talon. I kind of am sticking to the places that I have like some type of emotional or historical connection to. We have coming up in March, we have one of the songwriters in the round, Chelsea's going to be a part of, at the Twisted Cork.
Anybody else that
Oh my
we can
gosh,
mention?
the
is gonna be
lineup's
on there?
incredible. Arlo McKinley.
Oh, wow.
Luna and Christopher Bentley, Nicholas Jamerson, Ray Adams, Chelsea, Wes Smith, Bob Shirley. I feel like I'm missing someone.
It's so good with that.
Oh my gosh, the lineup's incredible. Listen, there's so much songwriting magic happening all over the state of Kentucky. Let's see, do we get everyone? Arlo, Chelsea, a little bit more. How could I forget?
wow.
A little bit more. That's who I had forgotten. Thanks, Chelsea. Yeah, I mean,
And what's the date on that again?
that is the March 5th. Is that correct? I think so. At 7 p.m. at Twisted Cork in Lexington, Kentucky.
It's a charity.
It's
fundraiser.
for charity. It's for, this time it's for Sunrise Children's Services out of Moorhead, Kentucky.
We appreciate everything that you all do, and thanks for bringing us your music, and congratulations on your nomination.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
And just a reminder, the Lexington Music Awards will be on Sunday, January 28th. It starts at 6 o'clock, but the doors open at 5. There's also an after party at Blue Stallion. So we are going to be back after this break, and we're going to hear from Daniel Phelps. Stay tuned. We are back on Overtones. Welcome back, everyone. We've been enjoying some great music by Chelsea Nolan, Ray Adams, and Whitney Acke. And we are so glad now to introduce this audience to Daniel Phelps. And Daniel Phelps is also nominated for a Lexington Music Award in the category of Best Guitarist. And he's a newcomer to that category, right?
That's right.
Welcome, Daniel.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Deserves a round of applause. And I guess Warren and I and Ray and Whitney, we saw him. He came to the Twisted Cork, the Red Barn Radio open mic night one summer evening and just blew all of us away. And from then on, I started like going to see him play at Common Grounds open mic, and then he's been back recently, and you just blew our audience away last weekend too. So we're so glad to have you here. Daniel, tell us about your musical background first.
I grew up playing in church, and Mom played piano, and those were the opportunities that I had playing music was at church. So that's kind of where I learned. And I remember an older fellow that has since passed away, but I just showed a lot of interest in the guitar. I didn't know anything about it, and he gave me his guitar and his amp to take home and play. So this was kind of a seed that he planted a long time ago. So I'm thankful for that opportunity that I had. It had a profound effect on my life. I didn't know it at the time, obviously. So lately I've been playing some open mics. I tend to generally keep to myself, but had been playing a little more in the last year and a half, and that's when I came across Twisted Cork and thought, well, I'll just go play another open mic, and I thought it was a great place to go. So I kept coming back. Took a little break over the last few months, but I went, as you said, last week, and it's a great time as always.
So, what was your reaction when you found out that you were nominated for a Lexington Music Award?
I didn't think it was true. I don't know who nominated me. I don't know.
I think they might be in this room.
Oh, okay. Well,
amongst your many fans.
Okay, I didn't know how it worked. But
Daniel's not on Facebook, so we had to actually get in touch with his wife to let him know.
That's right.
So, congratulations.
Thank you. It was. I'm very honored. I've never met Todd. Of course, I mean, I've seen Ben play, and I'm sure they're both just amazing, great musicians. So it's very shocking to see my name in that category.
Well, we are glad you are in that category. And would you play something for us here in the studio today?
I sure will. I wrote this song a while ago. It's called Familiar Spirits.
Familiar Spirits. Daniel Phelps.
Had a string out of tune. There we go. Nothing's perfect, right?
That's all right. I like it.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that's my favorite. And I'm famous for saying that everything's my favorite. But honestly, that was my favorite. I have this saying I say, that's in my top 10. And it's the top 10 has become top 100. So
Thank you.
thank you. Just incredible.
Thank you.
What do you think about that, Chelsea?
He could play a Kleenex box with rubber bands on it. It would sound like an orchestra. That was insane.
Thank you.
I was freaking out.
Thank
I
you.
feel like you could feel me freaking
Yeah.
out.
I saw your hands go.
I was like,
like
what? That is just divine, dude.
Thank you.
You've been given that.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that.
I'm glad I have the opportunity to be here. I mean, it means a ton to me. So.
Well, do you have one more in you for us? We could be our closing number here.
Yeah, I had. Well, you asked me this
Ooh,
earlier, and I
encore.
thought, what am I going to play? I haven't played this in a while, but I'm just going to give it a
Well,
shot.
let's give it a shot. Daniel Phelps, one more time. Whitney, what's your response to
Oh my
listening to
gosh!
Daniel?
Listen, I actually met Daniel many years ago. I was playing in a little dive bar, a bunch of cover tunes with a friend that Daniel and I both have in common, and yeah, so I knew that he was amazing. But then I hadn't seen you in like 5 years, maybe.
Probably.
And yeah, so when I saw him again, I was like, wow, that's exactly what I remember it being. Incredible.
Wow. Well, thank you, Daniel, for being here with us.
I'm very honored to have
Get you back
been
in the
here
studio.
today. Yes,
And
ma'am.
all of you all have an invitation back. And Whitney's going to be my sidekick on some of the episodes coming up. So that's what you got to look forward to. And Chelsea, thank you for being here. And
Thank you.
Ray as well. And
you.
Warren,
Yes,
thanks
ma'am.
for being here as well. Yay. So you all, yeah, everybody gets a round of applause. And this is a applause in a round motion. So I want to invite all of you all to listen to Red Barn Radio Wednesday night, and we will also be on Facebook Live at 8 o'clock. Also, continue to listen to Red Barn Radio live radio show as well. So for more information, go to redbarnradio.com, and again, the Lexington Music Awards, you can find out more information from them on lexingtonmusicawards.org. On the next show, we will be hopefully recapping the Lexington Music Awards, and maybe I can get David actually in the studio next week. That would be really nice. And then I'm going to probably be tracking down some winners that night and see if they will volunteer to come in and be with us too. And we're also going to be previewing the upcoming Red Barn live performance when Magnolia Boulevard takes the Red Barn stage on January 31st. So this is Renee Collins. I'm working in concert. I also want to remind you, when words fail, music speaks. Have a great week filled with much music and love. Goodbye, everyone.
Seems like life was easier today because I found a way to pray.